My Lords, last year, as Chancellor of the University of Birmingham, I spoke at the QS World University Rankings Conference in India, and I spoke with pride. With the UK 1%, less than 1% of the world's population, we have 4 out of the top 10 universities in the world. The latest QS rankings, Cambridge and Oxford, 2nd and 3rd. And I declare my interest as an honorary fellow at Sydney Sussex College at Cambridge, an ambassador for the Judge Business School, the Cambridge Judge Business School, where I'm conducting research as we speak, and also a Bynum Tudor Fellow at Kellogg College at the University of Oxford. His Majesty the King is a Bynum Tudor Fellow, as was Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and I'm a visiting Fellow at the Centre for Corporate Reputation at Side Business School in Oxford as well. And the QS rankings go further. 17 out of the top 100 universities in the world, including the University of Birmingham, where I'm proud to be Chancellor, are British universities. This is fantastic, and yet, this government has frozen fees at £9,250 for many years, so the real value of those fees is about £6,000, and inflation has meant our costs have gone up, and we're still meant to produce the best universities in the world with our hands tied behind our backs. I thank the noble Lord Blunkett for his fantastic, brilliant opening speech and for initiating this debate. Universities UK states very clearly that the higher education sector creates enormous economic impact across the country, contributing £130 billion. Universities support more than 768,000 jobs, and the higher education providers educate approximately 2.9 million students. This is a really important part of our economy. And in October 2023, there was a report written as part of the Economy 2030 inquiry by the Resolution Foundation, Nuffield Foundation, Lord Willits was involved, and it said, how can higher education improve productivity and drive economic growth, and had 4 groups of benefits that higher education can offer individuals and society. Longer life expectancy, better health, higher earnings, less likely to be unemployed, lower crime rate, more likely to volunteer and vote, more tax receipts, increased exporting. I mean, this is music to my ears. 24% of students enrolling in higher education institutions in 21-22 were non-UK, and we've got now over 600,000 international students, which I will come to. Business and management, the most popular subject among students, with 19% of all students studying this subject. And I'm patron of the Small Business Charter. I took over from the noble Lord Young. We accredit business schools around the country to the Chartered Association of Business Schools to be able to teach SMEs. And I'm also on the council of the Help to Grow Management Scheme, which provides mini MBAs for businesses where they only pay £750. This is the value of our business schools. The British Academy, in its report, has said higher education entrepreneurship. Many higher education institutions are incubating future economic disruptors across all disciplines. My Lord, I came up with the idea for Cobra Beer when I was studying law at Cambridge University. The innovation mindset is foundational to UK higher education. 80% of UK higher education research is assessed as world-leading, internationally excellent, and the return on investment for public and private R&D is estimated at 20%. And the sector was responsible for 25% of UK R&D. I mean, this is amazing, and yet we as a country only spend 1.7% of GDP on R&D and innovation versus America's 3.2%. Just imagine if we spent more. And just a week ago, Bhaskar Veera, the Pro-Vice-Chancellor Education at the University of Cambridge, showed me their brilliant report, Cambridge University's Economic Impact. The university contributes nearly £30 billion to the UK economy and supports more than 86,000 jobs across the UK economy. And my Lords, before I conclude, I have to touch on international students. As the co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for International Students, as the president of UKISA, the UK Council of International Student Affairs, and as a former international student myself, Pepe pointed out last year that international students bring in £42 billion to our economy. And I remember fighting in this House in 2007 to bring in the 2-year post-graduation work visa. It was brought in 2008 by a Labour government, taken away in 2012 by Theresa May as Home Secretary, brought back in by Boris Johnson in 2021, and look at the number of international students, how they've rocketed. And yet, this government seems to have an anti-international student attitude, an anti-immigration attitude. We need to take international students out of the net migration figures. It would almost halve that figure. It's the strongest element of soft power that we have in this country. 25% of world leaders have been educated at UK universities, 25% US universities, and the rest of 50%, all the other countries in the world put together. So let us celebrate international students. Let us celebrate our universities. Our universities are a jewel in this nation's crown.